Impact, good shot.
Alright guys, welcome back to Operators Anonymous. What I just got done doing today was a ballistics gel test between 3 different rounds. The 190 grain subsonic expanding round from Hornady being the first one. And then I also did my hand load, which is 125 grain SST. This is the round that I particularly carry in this pistol. And then the third one was 110 grain Hornady vmax, the Hornady black line was this particular one. Now, all 3 rounds performed exceptionally well, which is one of the reasons that I like to stick with Hornady personally. Hornady's bullets have always proven to shoot extremely accurately and expand extremely reliably. And the first one that I had done was the 190 grain sub X, which is kind of an underrated round. This doesn't get a whole lot of publicity for some reason. The only really videos that I've ever found out there regarding this round was the promotional video for Hornady. Now, this video had a very rapid, violent expansion, which you'll be seeing in B-roll footage right now. It performed extremely well and expanded extremely well as well. The round did penetrate a lot more than I kind of wanted to, but that's kind of to be expected with a subsonic round. They tend to expand a little bit more because they have a whole lot less expansion. They're not fragmenting quite as much and losing weight, and they tend to retain their weight a lot better. This round did perform a lot like a handgun round with just a little bit more velocity, and the thinner diameter of it kind of tend to act a little more like a pin cushion, push right through that ballistics gel. It did end up ending at about the 26-inch mark in the ballistics gel. It stopped just short of the end of the block, and I was able to recover it, and I'll be showing pictures of that as well on the B-roll here. Now, the second round that I shot was the particular round that I carry in this pistol. This is a defensive weapon that I use, and I usually use it just for that. It stays in the truck with me the majority of the time, and it's 125 grain SST. Now, I do load these extremely hot, so I believe Fiocchi is the only other company out there that's actually making a factory-loaded ammunition for this particular round, which I don't know why. It's a very good round for the 300 blackout. And they use the blue tips instead of red tips, but it's the same bullet, and these are loaded hotter than the Fiocchi rounds are. I'm getting about 2,034 feet per second with a 5-shot average out of this, and it is an 8.5-inch barrel as well, so that is cooking pretty hot. Now that round, it only made it to about the 14.5-inch mark in the ballistics gel. Very rapid, violent expansion, whole lot of fragmenting. It shed most of its fragments within the first about 8 inches of the block. Including a little red tip, you can see it floating around on there as well, and did dump a massive amount of energy into it, and I didn't really penetrate too far, which is something I'm actually glad to see, because I did load it hot and I was kind of afraid of that. Now, the third round that I had fired was the 110 vmax. Very, very violent, rapid expansion. It actually broke the pallet the gel blocks were sitting on, and split the block in half. Now, the gel block, the first gel block, which is the one that split, it did have several shots through it already, so it was kind of compromised. But the amount of energy that dumped it just kind of ripped it in half and threw it all over the place. And that round did pancake and flatten out real nice. So, I mean, you could be the judge of what rounds you want to carry in your particular weapon system, whether it be for home defense or hunting. Any of these 3 rounds are going to perform exceptionally well. So if you guys have any questions, just kind of drop them down in the comment section below, and enjoy the footage of the gel tests for these. I'm going to do 190 grain subsonic experiment. .25 grain Hornady SST, 300 blackout. .10 grain Hornady vmax.